Okay, and from that sexy new brand video, here is Sara from Centre Hotels, Chief Commercial Officer, and Katie Waters, Brand Director of I Am, to talk all about what they've been doing to create a truly unique experience. And I hope to explain what Centerprise, all these wonderful things are.
Thank you, Charlie. So, hello, I'm Sara, Kristófersdóttir. Nice of you, Charlie, to skip that surname out. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Centre Hotels.
And I'm Katie, I'm Associate Director of Branding at Digital at I Am. Today we're going to be taking you through our rebranding journey for Centre Hotels, along with our findings and results along the way.
So, I started in the hospitality industry at the young age of 15, when we moved to Reykjavik, the big city, from my hometown of Akranes. My mother was working as an anesthetic nurse in hospital, my dad as a business consultant for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and my grandfather was a live-in night porter in the oldest bed and breakfast in Reykjavik. It had 14 bedrooms. Christine, the owner of that B&B, was getting a bit too old, so she offered my grandfather to buy it. But he was also getting a bit old, so it went straight down one generation, and my mom and dad bought it. And my mom left her business as an anesthetic nurse and started putting people to sleep in a new and different way. So, who we are? We really are the people of Centre Hotels. We have grown today, but we're still a family-run business at the core. And we really couldn't have grown to where we are at today without our people. And I've left pictures of the ones that are here in the audience, so you can pick them out. These people really are a brand. They are the face of the business, and they grow and enrich our product every day. So here we are, 28 years from our humble beginnings with 10 bedrooms, and we're a 1,000-room hotel chain in 8 hotels, with 5 restaurants, 2 cafes, 3 spas, the 4th one in the making. And all our hotels are smack bang in the center of the city center of Reykjavik. And Laugavegur is the main shopping street, and you can see our hotels dotted around there. And I had a friend visiting from England to Iceland, and he came back and he's like, wow, Centre Hotels really is a monopoly. You're on every street corner. And that really broke my heart. So I felt there was a need to change. So in 2017, the competitive landscape was changing greatly. We're getting really big international brands into Reykjavik, and they had all their designs and branding all to the T. So it just wasn't enough to be centrally located anymore. We had to be more. And we started the process of negotiation with a large unnamed international hotel chain, and we went through a lengthy process with them and met them various times, and we really came to the conclusion, they're not us. This is not what we want to be represented like. So we needed a partner, and not only did we need a partner that knew how to get our brand on point, we really needed a partner that could sort of translate that into the design of the hotel. So it was more than just branding, it was every touch point. So we found I Am London.
So a little bit of context before we get into the Centre Hotels story. We are a multidisciplinary branding agency, and we design people-inspired experiences. What that means is we have a people-inspired approach that helps us to design remarkable brand experiences that change the way people think, feel, and behave. We have 3 studios, one in London, Istanbul, and Dubai, which gives us a really great global reach and also global understanding for our projects. We work across sector, so anything from tech or banking all the way to kind of retail and hospitality. And our capabilities of our studio range from anything from kind of research and insight to branding to interior design to digital and UX. So we really can take on kind of holistic projects. So back to Centre Hotels. When we kicked off the project, our first port of call is just to gain the most understanding we can about their company. We want to understand what makes them tick, and most importantly, try and really understand who their target customer are. We ran a range of collaborative brand workshops with the Centre Hotels team.
So one thing we learned from our one of the workshops we ran multiple, but that was defining our target market. So I want you now to close your eyes and just think about who the target market for your hotels is. What do they look like? How old are they? Just have a little think about branding or sort of brands they're into and what sort of income bracket they're in. And then I want you to open your eyes and see if your outcome was a bit similar to ours. Is it somebody that's a bit like you or like your friends? Because that was a little bit our outcome. My mom found middle-aged ladies in the pictures and found them out. My dad had all the CEOs in the business suit, and I was like executive women is what I was picking out. So we were all picking out people like us. Our gay sales director picked out only gay couples. So it was very much an eye-opening experience. Thankfully, this was a good representation of our market mix. But it was very interesting and helped us sort of get on point with what we needed to be working at.
Yeah. So the best brands in the world are built on truth, so we can tell authentic stories. We want to unearth what's already there rather than have to kind of create anything new. So it was to our absolute delight when we did this work. We found out that there was so much amazing stuff at the foundation of this brand already. You know, it was a fully Icelandic, family-owned and run hotel chain. And, you know, that spirit permeated the whole way through the business. So surely that was something we wanted to shout about.
Yeah, so collectively we agreed on the vision for the brand moving forward, which was to become the most loved and most talked about local brand in Iceland and beyond. And this by creating a memorable and unique Icelandic hospitality experience that really captures the essence of Iceland as an island and makes our guests feel welcome and a part of, like they're our visitors, they're not just coming to a hotel.
So, despite the kind of wide demographic of all the different people we were looking at, our guests did all have one thing in common. They were not your typical holidaymaker. They were forgoing the sandy beaches and the sunshine for something a whole lot rainier, wetter, colder, and definitely a lot more adventurous. They were all explorers. They wanted to go away, really get under the skin of what they were doing, get under the skin of the new place. They are curious, they were open-minded, they were cultured, and they were connected. So after we'd defined our customer, we then started to look at what our brand essence was. So we wanted to represent as a brand the heartbeat of the city, the spirit of the people, and the soul of the island. Just to give a little kind of little bit of insight into kind of the process of that. Once we had defined them, we then explored two different concept directions, so how we could target these explorers. And when we do this in our projects, we always try and pull our roots apart kind of really far to really try and tease out exactly what's right for the brand and also for the customer. So for Center Hotels, our first route was stay like a local. So this was more focused on urban exploration, so looking at kind of culture and creativity, whereas a haven for explorers was more to do with the kind of rural, countrywide exploration, creating that kind of Icelandic home from home. As you may have been able to guess from the name of the talk, Stay Like a Local became the chosen direction, and we felt like this was such a good fit for Center Hotels. Not only were they Icelandic family-owned and run, but like Sara just showed you, we had all of these hotels right in the centre of the city. It also felt like a great opportunity to challenge the conventions of an Icelandic holiday a bit. I know myself, when I went there for the first time, I was super excited about seeing all the volcanoes and the amazing scenery. And whilst they are amazing, the thing that I was most surprised about was the city. It was totally unexpected, but I absolutely fell in love with Reykjavik. It was an awesome city. It was so cultured, it was really artistic, it was really vibrant. So I really think this was a really good angle for the guys to go down. So our kind of key drivers for our brand became getting in the thick of the action, that local immersion. Creativity, little fact, Icelanders have some of the most artists, poets, kind of writers in the world. That might be a little per capita, yeah, per capita. It might be a fact a little bit skewed by the fact there are only 350,000 people in the whole country, so it makes it a little bit easier to get on that top spot, but still, it's a super creative city and you can really sense that when you walk around. Finally, we wanted to not only create somewhere which was representing the city, but also became a social hub of the city itself. So that became a really important driver for our brand too.
So one interesting thing that we found out here is when we split the groups into two. Internally, we've always talked about our hotels in the year of when we opened. And we've displayed our hotels on the website in the year of when we opened. Our phone numbers are by the year of when we opened. And we learned, working with IAM, that you really need to proposition each property based on your market needs. So we really shifted that.
Yeah. So yeah, part of our strategic work, we kind of reviewed the brand architecture of the business in order to deal with the problem of the oversaturation in the centre of the city. So we decided to suggest 2 different tiers of hotels in order to offer diversity and choice to our customer. So we had our standard hotel tier, and this is targeted at what we called our guided explorers. So these are guys that, yes, they want to see new things, but they're more happy to follow a well-trodden path and to follow recommendations. This is our kind of pure stay like a local experience, and it would be a highly consistent experience across all of the different hotel chains in that tier. We then introduced a second tier, which was what we called our endorsed hotels. So this was targeted at our independent explorers. These are people that are more self-reliant, more savvy, and they're looking for a more bespoke and special experience. These we wanted to behave more like boutique independent hotels. So each of these would have its own brand, have its own name, have its own personality and something special about it. So when it came to the branding, we knew we didn't want anything that felt corporate. We wanted to represent the family values. So we were looking at a kind of human, approachable, kind of friendly logo font. And we did that using the name, coupled with a kind of simplistic kind of circular monogram device. But the whole point is just like Iceland, we wanted this to be kind of ever-changing, ever-dynamic. So the idea was that it's always kind of, for example, filled with loads of patterns to represent kind of Icelandic creativity. So always dynamic, always changing. And when it came to the circles, we wanted it to be so much more than just part of the logo. We wanted it to become part of the brand language, because we really saw this as the kind of local viewfinder into the city. It's our kind of local heart.
And we really did, on our brand launch, when we had our big brand day, we got all our audience in on the point with us to get the circle. So they were taking pictures of Reykjavik within a circle or anything with a circle. And this is content that we're using throughout our social today still. Mm-hmm.
So then when it came to how we were talking, obviously, I just said on my first trip to Iceland, was completely blown away by it, and I absolutely fell in love with the people. They have such a unique way of talking. And as a local brand, we needed to be able to make sure we were being authentic in the way we talked. So it was all about being quirky, keeping it short, having fun, telling stories, staying chatty, inspiring and energizing. We didn't want to be boring, write essays, or sound too corporate. In our research stage of the project, we kind of delved deep into kind of Icelandic culture and kind of stories, and wow, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, we're a quirky, superstitious bunch in Iceland. So many of us believe in elves, for example. And a good example of that is when we were laying highway number 1 around the country. There's a point that's known as like an elf rock. And after multiple attempts of connecting the east to the west, we had to lay the road around this rock because the elves kept on stopping construction. So that's just a simple example of how we just work around our quirky traditions. And we have a lot of funny sayings, and we didn't even realize they were funny until we were telling them to the guys, that we say the raisin at the end of the hot dog when we mean we saved the best thing for last.
Yeah. And there was so much of this stuff, and for someone that's coming to Iceland has never seen this before, this is all such interesting stuff. So we wanted to unearth all of these great sayings and stories and language in order to kind of, expose them to our guests. We also wanted to make sure our brand felt personable, so we engaged with an Icelandic illustrator to bring both our hotels and all of our team to life. That local community engagement was really important, and we want to continue to do this on an ongoing basis. So as Centre Hotels, we become a platform for kind of local artists. So partnering with different local artists in order to showcase their artwork, whether it's on kind of free giveaway postcards or even like as big hung pieces within the hotel. So just an example of how some of those bits of Icelandic language get peppered through onto various collateral, whether it's kind of door hangers or bags. So Petteredas, probably saying it wrong there, but Petteredas in particular, this became something we ended up using a lot. It was basically the Icelandic Hakuna Matata, meaning everything's going to work out okay in the end. And we felt it represented the kind of Icelandic mentality so well. So we then flowed through lots of different collateral, and the idea was that every single thing tied into our idea of staying like a local, creativity, being cultured. So we really tried to make sure every single one of them kind of opened a conversation about the brand. So for example, just the key cards, you know, we want to be seen as those local experts. So it's giving this kind of pocket-sized map with all of our local picks and recommendations, things like museums and art and music. And even a kind of in-room newspaper, so the Centre Hotels newspaper, which kind of gives local recommendations that are more kind of seasonal and more current. So this is just a little sample of kind of how we did our brand development, and then on to the next steps.
So then it's all fine and well for the top management to go away somewhere and define a brand. How do you bring a team of 360 people with you on the journey? So our way to do that was we held a branding day where we took all the management of any team. So head of housekeeping, like per hotel, everybody was there, every manager that had any sort of employees in their team. We took them for a full brand launch day, and then we sent them off to their teams with 2 questions. Our customers will love us even more if, and then we left them fill in the blank, and we would be crazy not to, and then we let them fill in the blank. So we got 360 fantastic answers of both questions from the team. Then we took the whole management away and did a workshop around that over 2 days with IAM, where we really sort of put together all the ideas. And it was really nice to see how many of them were coming with the same ideas or something that was on our roadmap already. So we managed to sort this into something that we're going to action now, something that's actionable within a year, and then sort of something that we put on the 5-year roadmap. And then we took all that and made a cute little video that was shared with everybody so they saw themselves coming with the ideas and then us actually actioning them. And that making it onto paper and into action, what we were doing.
So following the brand definition, kind of the website was the next thing we wanted to tackle, as we knew this was a super important part of communication and also for booking strategy. So before we did that, we kind of set out our key goals. So functionally, we were looking at increasing direct bookings and managing the portfolio through information architecture. Emotively, we wanted to inspire them to want to explore Reykjavik and beyond, and also be seen as the local go-to experts. So within our website design, our key goal really was to kind of show or give that little snapshot into local life so people could really feel like they can experience it on visit. So using kind of really large-scale video in kind of little snapshots so that people really got that kind of essence and that vibe. Obviously, because we had our different hotel tiers, communication around the different offers and what you got with each one, where each one was located, became absolutely critical, along with all of the different sub-offers within the hotel, so food and beverage, spa, kind of entertainment. When it came to the hotel pages, we were trying to capture the kind of smaller moments in the ambience and the atmosphere of the hotel through kind of small bits of footage around there. And then obviously with direct bookings, having a really succinct, simple and clear booking system was absolutely critical. So we worked with busy rooms in order to make this as simple and with as few clicks as possible. So obviously we want to create a website that really says who we are, really stands out from the crowd, gets people interested in coming to stay with us. But we need to make sure that people have a reason to then come back and they don't just see it and then go away. So as the local experts, we wanted to pepper our local insight throughout that site. So even after you've looked, you might want to go back to check something else out. So we added a kind of really comprehensive what's on section. We also added a local guide where we recommended our top picks for local graffiti or other things around the city. So it's just really trying to instill that information as being the local experts.
Back. Behind every beautifully designed website like IAM came with, takes a lot of programming work on our marketing team's behalf with busy rooms. Each template needs to lead into the next template. The videos need to load correctly. We got some really good feedback that made us, if you're looking at our website through your phone, we don't have video on our mobile site because it loads too slowly. So we keep that for our desktop site. But there was months and months of work of making this actually function correctly on Busy Room's behalf as well, and our sales director or marketing director that's in here in the audience. We also worked very closely with Triptease throughout the journey. We had many meetings with the development team, just getting really good insights on what to do. We brought them our websites, our architecture as we wanted to see it, and really got some very useful, helpful hints on what to do and what to not do. And I really must encourage you to, if you are about to undertake something like that, speak to your third-party partners. They have a whole vast volume of just specialties and knowledge about things that you just wouldn't dream of. So we got a lot of help from them, so thank you very much. And now on to the results. The results really speak for themselves. This is a comparison with January to April 2019 versus January to April this year, because of something that I don't want to mention. But we've had a 61% increase in website users. Our new users are up by 67%. Our organic search is up by 53%. And our referral through all these collaboration with local artists has risen by 90%. We have a 77% website conversion rate growth and a 61.3% direct booking increase. So we're quite chuffed with those results. It's not only the website we had to think of. We work with rebrand, and Travis was speaking here earlier, and we do all our pre-stay mailers with them. We do automated campaigns, everything, and we had to rebrand the whole lot, which was a lot of work that Sika and the team undertook. We've, again, used their expert knowledge to help us time these messages correctly, which is so crucial. And the data that we got from them was really invaluable. We're also working on some exciting automation things that I just couldn't go up here and present without telling you about. And one of them is, we all know about staff shortages. So we're working with an AI bot that reads through all our inbound reservation emails. It's called hoteliers bot. And then we teach them, our agents are teaching this bot to answer any query that comes in on email. And with time, it learns to answer that completely automatically, sends a quote, and then the booking comes directly in through our systems, through busy rooms, into a HMS. So this we had to put on pause due to the last 2 years, because I did not want to teach this AI bot how to cancel a non-refundable booking with a full refund. So we waited until normal travel resumed, and we're just in the first phase of this project again now. Another sort of piece of technology that we're using, and this is all, we're never trying to push the guest further away from us. We're always trying to use technology to free up our time to serve better. So this is a mobile check-in, check-out solution, and they're called Hello Guest, and they literally, I get the guest before he arrives, and this is something I've been working towards for like 5 years now. What message can I send through Booking.com and Expedia that gets through to the guest even without me having their email address? And this is the message I can send. Do you want to check in before your arrival? Do you want to add on things and things like that? They always let this message through. And this, if the guest pre-checks in, I get his email address before arrival and can start owning the guest. And this is also very helpful. We all know the reality of when we have a Booking.com email address and the receptionist is supposed to swap it around. It's not easy in a big hotel with 255 rooms and 10 check-ins at the same time. So there's a lot of opportunities lost there, which I feel this is going to be a game changer in helping us achieve more email percentage in our hotel. Also with this is I'm an avid anti-apper. So I stayed in a hotel in Helsinki. They had an app. I downloaded the app, went off to my conference. My battery on my phone was gone by lunchtime. So these are browser-based only, and you just get your link when you check in, and you can just save that to your sort of shorthand screen on the phone. So that's quite helpful.
So then, yeah, when it came to social, it was again just trying to translate our brand and trying to kind of bring our messages through on all of our different posting and all our different marketing strategies. So all the same stuff. So having kind of local snapshots from around the city, kind of hotel experiences, along with communicating those Icelandic local stories at the same time.
And during our rebranding work with IAM, that took a couple of years, but in 2019, when we were about to launch, we really realized that we needed a social media manager. So Iris, that's here in the audience, she came and joined us. And since then, if we compare our results, January to April 2019 versus 2022, we've got 1,000% increase in Instagram followers. And my favorite is the 418% growth in social media referrals onto our website. And then this is our first branded hotel. We obviously had 6 hotels first when we started working with IAM London. And this is the first hotel that opens up in the new branding. It's Center Hotels Laugaveggur, and it's sort of right at the top of the Laugaveggur main street, where kind of the city centre starts. And we're so excited to open this in August 2019 with all the new branding and all the quirky messages and everything.
Yeah. So this was our standard tier approach hotel. So this is basically setting the kind of blueprint for all of the other hotels within that tier. This was meant to be our kind of pure stay like a local experience with kind of wide appeal to all. And the whole thing was about it being welcoming, it was meant to be personal, and it was also meant to be social. So within the lobby experience, we had kind of small moments and small touches of that kind of localization all around. So for example, kind of a reel of kind of like quirky Icelandic films constantly being playing. And that idea of kind of creative personalization. So rather than just having our logo, we wanted to kind of bring it to life in a really creative and sculptural way. So every single hotel will have a kind of center hotel circle. And this one in particular was brought to life by some artists which decided to kind of make it out of kind of colored string. So the idea is that yes, there is a bit of a blueprint, but we always want a little bit of personality to come through on all of them. We also had a kind of local exploration wall, which kind of doubled up as a luggage locker, which had your kind of things found from around the city, so kind of local craft, local music, literature for people to explore. And again, that storytelling, we didn't just want it to be on our brand collateral, we wanted it to be part of the hotel experience as well. So there were kind of small stories kind of peppered throughout in order for people to absorb during their stay. Having vibrant social spaces was such a key part of our brand goal. So creating those kind of restaurant and bar and F&B spaces was critical. So here you can see Lower, which was the kind of bar and bistro space we created, along with a more casual kind of grab and go space called Stock. Both of these were meant to appeal both to the hotel guests, but also to kind of locals as well, to make sure they're kind of really vibrant and part of the community.
The next fine opening that we had got delayed because of something, but we finally opened up when Iceland opened up to all international travelers in July, August last year. So this is granted by Center Hotels. It's our first fully branded endorsed hotel. So this is a location on its own. It stands out. It's built in the industrial area of Reykjavik, where it's built in an old machine factory house. And everything around that area is really sort of arty, quirky, and up and coming. So we use that quite a lot with this one. So we work with a lot of exciting local artists there, just from the neighborhood.
Yeah, so as the first endorsed hotel, as you can see, this one has its own standalone logo, its own different look to the kind of standard tier. And this was all inspired by its kind of industrial heritage. So making sure it had its own point of view, its own personality. In addition to that, we created the kind of destination restaurant called Headin in relation to that. This was actually the old factory hall, so it was an amazing kind of double height space. And so the whole concept behind this was about the kind of the collision of forces, so between man and nature. So we coupled kind of industrial inspiration with these kind of large-scale organic forms.
And then I talked earlier about bringing the team on the journey with us. And I was quite excited to see this after we did our rebrand. British Airways, our new hotel, 9.6 in guest satisfaction. So we got the Customer Excellence Awards for our new grande there. All our hotels got the Traveller Choice Awards by TripAdvisor. all of our hotels got awarded by both Booking and Expedia for excellent customer satisfaction. But our proudest moment in the middle of COVID was to be awarded the cleanest hotel in Reykjavik. It meant our message really got through. So we threw a big party for our housekeepers that day. Another sort of added bonus on this journey is to be nominated for all these prestigious awards. Restaurant Bar and Design Awards reached out to us. So here in the, Katie was showing pictures of earlier, it got nominated in the category of Best Hotel Restaurant Design, Best Restaurant Design in a Heritage Building, and Best Restaurant Ceiling Design. The World Travel Awards reached out, and our Thingholt by Centre Hotels is nominated as Iceland's leading boutique hotel. And then the Brit List Awards were nominated. There was a combined nomination of hotels opening in 2021. And that was for Grandi and the design of Laugavör, so the 2 new branded hotels. And they were shortlisted for Best Hotel Design. So all in all, even though a lot of the work we're doing is still ongoing, I feel like the work we have done already has kind of future-proofed our brand for the next decade and beyond, and helps us ensure that we're retaining our position as market leaders in the industry, or in Reykjavik.
Yeah, and it's been such a great journey to be on, so thank you for allowing us to.
So that is it. Any questions?
Just while they run, I'm going to ask one. Sara Kristófersdóttir.
Oh, my God.
Have you been practicing that the whole time?
Yeah, I have.
I'm also McGuinness.
It's such a big undertaking. I wondered, are there any things during there that really scared you? Like, what was...
There was a lot of things that scared me.
The renaming. We went through a naming exercise. We renamed the hotel, and that didn't go down well.
My dad renamed me for a day. So he called me Ingibjörg for a whole day because he wanted me to understand what it felt like for him to change the name of one of his hotels. Yeah. So, yeah, there were some challenges along the way, but sort of working with a great team, we always overcome all obstacles. So.
Right. Wow. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
Really amazing. And one of the things you didn't mention, and I suspect you're not, there's so much you did mention, so okay, but
yeah.
the leadership in like eco and kind of green thinking from the, your part of the world is outstanding, and we look to you, and we should be doing more.
Thank you.
Maybe I thought you wanted to talk a bit about some of the things you're doing, because I think it's something that I'm constantly pushing in my brand for us to pay more attention to and talk about future-proofing. That's kind of the key. So I think probably the way you do things and the way you supply and pick your food and things. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that?
It's something that's quite interesting, because all the sort of green initiatives in the world, they don't take into account that Icelandic hotels have completely renewable energy already. So we're being told by those standards, don't use hot water. Our hot water is geothermal. It's free. It's there. We pump it into the ocean when we're done with it. So there's a lot of things there that sort of have made us take very cautious steps on joining an international green agency. But we do most certainly do all the work behind it. But we haven't gotten certified. I know my lovely friends over here from Iceland are. But it's something that is right at the core of everybody that is in Iceland. Yeah.
Hi. Thank you very much for this great presentation. I absolutely love how enthusiastic you are about it, and we can see your glow, so congratulations. And
Thank you.
I was wondering, maybe I missed it, how long did it take for you to go through this process? And the second question would be, how does this reflect on the ADR?
ADR, I'll answer that straight away. That's coming up now, but we've obviously been recovering from COVID. So our ADRs are not fully growing yet, but it will. I can see on the results, and I know how it will develop. Now, my question this morning was, the one thing that I'm going to do here after this, for the rest of the year, it's getting segmentation right. So we've taken an overflow of bookings at a segment that we don't want anymore, because now the demand is back. So it's all about pushing that out, really, at the moment. However, the process took. We were sort of Sika came to me in 2017 and said, I need a new website, we need a rebrand, we need this and that, there's too much competition. So we started the process in 2017. We launched a new website in November 2019. So I would say all in all, it took 2 years, but we did sort of decide to work on a lot of other elements because we couldn't just do this without doing that.
Yep.
So the project grew.
We had about kind of 20 live micro projects at one point. So like all of these kind of smaller initiatives. So there was, obviously we were doing all the restaurant work as well, which was a different stream. So we were looking at branding their whole suite of restaurants, and then we were looking at the hotel, and then within that, there were lots of smaller projects. You know, the website then became its own stand-out project as well. So,
but we did our sort of full launch the website. There's a nice video of Sika pressing play on that in November, and we had an opening party for Laugavör at the same time, and sort of that was our rebrand, sort of communicated to our clients. But then we did so many things. We did a donut stand with the circles at our first trade show. And we had there's just endless things.
Like guerrilla marketing in the city and all sorts of stuff. So.
Sorry, we've got a question here.
Hello, great success story. Thank you very much for sharing it. You presented also some results from social media. Maybe you can share with us some on social ads, how was the strategy there, and if you will extend it and move forward with social ads as well.
So some of this I am a little bit reluctant to answer because all my main competition in my small marketplace is here. So, but yeah, we did obviously deploy a social media marketing strategy. And I think if you want the answers, maybe you just ask Iris, our social media manager, directly. I'll make sure to connect you after.
Okay, one more question here.
Hi, thank you. It was very nice to see your presentation and really congratulations. But when we are talking about the, how big was your team who did this, starting from the beginning at the end? Because I imagine that only, I don't know, few people can do that. So how big was your team in order to do everything?
It was the leadership of every department, so that was 5. And then there was marketing team. And they were involved in and out, coming and going at different times. So we tried to take every project, break it down, and say, you're going to be busy for the next 12 weeks. And then, you know, I know it's impossible to take out a hotel manager. So things like that we did over small workshops. And then there was a deciding team, one department head, that decided on every single thing after feedback sessions from the leadership team in their departments.
Okay, thank you. And one more question is that, of course, all these changes, everything like that requests investment. And as I understand, all the biggest investments was invested before the COVID. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we
and then the
did
COVID
a massive
came
investment, and then
there
COVID
was no
came.
return.
And then we have return now. So, and that's why I'm saying it's very difficult to give you sort of real results until this year has passed. So, but we're seeing it now. I mean, we had Omicron starting at this year. So we're really just talking about February, March, and April, where we had results to compare with something.
Okay, so as I understood correctly, so basically the work that you did 2 years ago that you finished, you will only see the results when this year will...
and we already have a lot of results. Some of them I just can't share in numbers. So I can tell you the growth rates, which were there, but I can't tell you from what and to what. That's just too much competitive information.
Anyway,
I'll show
thank you
yours
for sharing.
if you show me mine.
Do we have time for one more question?
If there are any, no, I think.
Hi, my name is Ayut, and I'm in the process of inheriting 7 hotels from my elderly parents in Thailand. And it is an honor and a real privilege to be listening to your success story. With the rebranding and repositioning of your hotels, I'm sure it would also require a total shift in the culture. Yeah. How did your staff respond?
I think the beauty of this collaboration was they came to us, they looked at who we are, and then they just helped us fine-tune it. So they didn't change us, they went, this is great about you, this is great about you, this is great about you. Now we're going to shout about it. So overall, we really focused on things that we're already good at and made more noise about it. And that was the key. But then also we did those workshops with the staff, and we will continue to do that just to work them in. So we have a Centre Hotel school where we do all the training, and we want to sort of teach our staff when they get onboarded how to talk right and walk right, really. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And while I was listening to your presentation, I have looked at flights to Iceland already because I have to see it for myself.
Please, you need to go. It's amazing.
And as Charlie can confirm, I'm a direct booking. I'm a DBS addict.
Yeah.
So
as soon as I went to the first one, I became one.
yes.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.